Welcome in to the PFF NFL Daily. Today, discussing another crazy week in the NFL. So, Sam, we're going to go through and figure out what's real, what's not so real, signal, noise, however you want to break it down. So, I'll let you start. After all of the stuff that we saw yesterday, what's the real, as the Iron Sheik would say?
Few things I think are real and not just crazy randomness from this weird week 11 of a weird season, just another installment. I think Buffalo does have some serious issues at this point. They were getting the same kind of treatment as Kansas City in terms of what defenses were doing to cause that offense some problems. Then they ran up against the Jets, and frankly, it didn't matter what the Jets were doing on defense. None of it was going to work. Their defense is terrible. So all of a sudden, it looked like Buffalo got right against the Jets. But we saw them against the Colts. They did play that same kind of defense, and Buffalo's offense struggled, and then there were turnovers because of bad weather and all those kinds of things. So all of a sudden, Buffalo is no longer the team at the top of the division. They're now staring up at the New England Patriots with 2 games to play against the Patriots, who obviously are still coached by Bill Belichick, who knows how to craft a defense.
Yeah, I was actually that was one that kind of stood out to me. I was almost going to take the other angle. I think the Colts are capable of doing that. I thought the Colts and the Vikings were 2 teams who started slow during the season. They're on the upswing, and I think they're just dangerous. I think what's real is they're dangerous, right? The Colts, the Vikings, 2 teams that can create offense. I like the Colts are scoring a ton of points lately over these last 5 or 6 weeks, and just put a hurting on the Bills offensively. So to me, that's one of the 2 of the things that are real too. The Colts and the Vikings. I want to circle back to that in a second, though, only because of what you said about the Bills, and maybe the 1 week didn't really fix them offensively. And look, the Chiefs won, but I did want to highlight the offense scored under 20 points again. I know there's a missed field goal in there, but whatever. This was a 1 week where the Chiefs got right with 41 points with a Raiders defense, as we mentioned on the PFF NFL podcast, not following the blueprint. Well, now they go against the Cowboys, and again, it's not really the same explosive Chiefs offense. Bad turnover in there again by Mahomes. So yeah, the Chiefs fan should be excited, and I know the story this morning, right? You're going to tune in NFL Network and ESPN. They're all going to say the Chiefs have a Super Bowl caliber defense right now, but I think right now the Chiefs offense still remains a concern.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, it's going to get lost in all this talk because we're going to be crowning the Chiefs again because they won. And look, the broader point might be that if their defense is back to this degree, if their defense is this good now with Chris Jones moved back inside, all of a sudden an absolutely dominant force, if they're capable of stifling opposing offenses rather than just like not being a disaster, the offense doesn't need to get back to where it used to be. Like it can still make some mistakes, and all of a sudden they have this kind of margin for error. So, maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle, that the Chiefs generally are back, but that offense is still not where it used to be. Another thing I think that's real and not just craziness from yesterday, like the Arizona Cardinals are the team to beat in their division in the NFC West. They went and had another win without Kyler Murray on the field, and that's huge. Like they've won multiple games now with Colt McCoy at quarterback, and this one was in the division against Seattle, who had Russell Wilson back, albeit clearly not 100% Russell Wilson. Like that is a huge game for Arizona to win at the same time as the Rams are stumbling. The 49ers maybe are getting right, but they're coming from so far back. Like this is the Cardinals' division to lose.
Yeah, Arizona without Kyler Murray, without DeAndre Hopkins again. And it was Zach Ertz, who led the way with 88 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the little shovel pass, and then the pass interference to seal the deal there too. So all of a sudden, Arizona, since week 1, we've really been saying Arizona has options in the passing attack. We haven't seen that under Cliff Kingsbury. So all of a sudden, yeah, Zach Ertz, their early season acquisition from the Philadelphia Eagles, becomes a pretty key one, right? They were not thrown to the middle of the field or thrown to tight ends early in Cliff Kingsbury's tenure, but they were, with Colt McCoy, and now Zach Ertz becomes a weapon that they have there. So, yeah, I'm with you. I've been impressed with the Cardinals, winning 2 out of 3 without Kyler Murray now. And I think I agree. That's real. Do you have anything that was fake? What's the fake stuff that came through? What should we not be overreacting to from Sunday?
I don't know that I would overreact to the Dallas loss. We're going to be writing off Dallas at the same time as we're crowning Kansas City. I know it's a couple of weeks in the last few where the offense has stunk, but look at the number of guys they're missing at this point, right? Tyron Smith, I think, is the big one for multiple weeks now, but Amari Cooper's been down. Now they play on Thanksgiving as well, so it's not going to get easier. We might see another game of struggles, but no Amari Cooper because of the COVID. CeeDee Lamb cracks his head on the floor in that game and is out for the rest of it. May probably miss Thanksgiving as well. So all of a sudden, Dallas, like all of these teams that started the season, and you're like, look at the number of receiving weapons they have, 4, 5 guys deep that they can still make plays. All of a sudden, every one of those teams has like been hammered on the depth chart, and they've got to go to number 4, number 5. Like Dallas's receivers are better than we're seeing right now. I think ultimately that will pull them out of whatever tailspin they're in.
This Thanksgiving, be thankful for family, food, and free bets. That's right, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. They got a Turkey Day no-brainer that you can't miss. New customers can bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. If Sportsbook isn't yet available in your state, you can still get in on the Thanksgiving NFL action. Make your first deposit, and you can play for free for millions of dollars with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Football contests. And DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PFF. Bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. That's promo code PFF this Thanksgiving at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, I feel like I am in far more overreaction mode because I'm usually the one that says, whoa, let's not overreact to this, but I'm reacting to all of it. I think there's a lot of real. It's all real. Here's what I mentioned about the Vikings earlier, right? They're real, they're dangerous, and I think they're dangerous because Kirk Cousins overall had a little bit of interception luck yesterday, but he's been super accurate this year, and I just think Justin Jefferson can take over games. And I think that's what makes things dangerous when you're playing the Minnesota Vikings. I think that is real, and they're going to be that team that everybody says, you don't want to play this team if they sneak into the playoffs. So I think the Minnesota Vikings are real in that respect. The other thing I think could be real, Sam, is the Tennessee Titans' offensive woes without King Henry. It was disguised. There was a disguise over the last 3 weeks because of bad turnovers by opposing offenses, good turnovers by the Titans defense, and I think it just came to a head yesterday. The Titans offense has issues right now.
Here's the thing, though. I just don't think that this is the game to make that case. Like I agree with you.
Crazy rain and all that stuff.
I agree with you that they have been riding their luck, which is why I predicted this game going down this way on our main podcast.
That's the first of a few times that you're going to pat yourself on the back. I get it.
Probably, yeah. But like this was a rainstorm. It was a freaky game. Like Tannehill had 4 interceptions, which is not going to happen in most weeks. They only have one receiver, AJ Brown, and they lost him at one point in this game. Like this is I just think this was a weird game. Like this was the perfect encapsulation of, they went on this 5-game run of incredible teams. Next on the horizon is the Patriots. Like there are big games everywhere. And in the middle of it is this weird game against Houston in a rainstorm where you're a 10-point favorite. I just think this is freaky and one that you chalk up to, it happens. Now let's move on.
Did you have any other real or not so real things that you wanted to highlight here?
One more real, I think, that the Raiders are toast. Like that offense is just done. It's not, if you can't get right against the Bengals defense, you're not getting right this season.
And then I would say the other real thing is you tweeted me earlier, sent me a message earlier today. Too bad the Eagles didn't realize they were a power running team, weeks ago. They ran the ball 50 times, Sam, 50 times. I mean, their box score, it looks like a Navy out there. I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts dropped back more than 4 times a game like an Army or a Navy team, but you don't see 50 carries a whole lot in an NFL game. And I think the Eagles truly have found their identity, tapping into Jalen Hurts as a runner. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, but designed running game and then the pass game coming off that looks pretty real for the Eagles.
8 weeks it took the Eagles to accidentally stumble into the notion that they were actually this dominant power run team. For the first 7 weeks, they had been operating under the illusion that this was a spread passing attack with Jalen Hurts just doing everything on his own. all of a sudden you play the Lions, you accidentally destroy them on the ground with your offensive line. And from that point on, they've just been pounding teams on the ground. Like, honestly, the Eagles could be firmly in the playoff mix if they'd realized that from week one and had just been doing that from the outset.
By the way, I on the stuff that's not real, I agree with you on the Dallas thing. Don't overreact to the Dallas stuff. Overreact to everything else, though.
Everything
It
else.
was a crazy week 11. Let us know what's real, what's not so real coming out of week 11. It's a PFF NFL Daily.